Yeah, I guess to start things off, there's obviously this is going to be a training camp unlike any you've had, and probably a season unlike any, hopefully a season unlike any you'll ever have again. What's been your approach to, your personal, improvement and how you're going to approach this camp, but also, how you're approaching it as a leader and making sure your team and your teammates get enough out of this next month to be ready for the season?
Yeah, one, it's control what you can control. I can control my reps. I can control what I do after practice, where I go. Being smart about not putting myself in harm's way. That's gonna put the team in harm's way. So making sure I'm doing things right off the field. When it comes to practice time, every rep that I get, taking it as seriously as I can. And when I, have a rep offer to, I'm still being engaged and talking with my guys and going through it in my mind and getting those mental reps because every rep's going to be super valuable going into this. And got a couple new pieces we've added to the offense. So just trying to build that camaraderie with them, trying to still develop stuff that the camaraderie that we have with our guys returning, a la Cole Beasley and John Brown and Motor. So really just being as communicative as possible, talking with everybody. But I mean, I just want to give a shout out to, Terry and Kim for allowing us to do what we do right now. And everything's been first class, and they've made as many adjustments to the building and the facilities as they have. Everything's been smooth so far. We just got to still continue to wear our masks, and we got these little beepers that make sure that we're staying 6 feet apart. And in order to perform on the field, we're gonna have to do everything right off the field too.
Is it tricky to be the type of leader you like to be when you got to be 6 feet apart from guys? How do you kind of?
Typically, I like interacting with my guys and our high fives and handshakes and stuff that we do here. But again, it's a small price to pay for the possibility of playing a season and going out there and trying to win as many games as we can.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank you. Muted, Vic. There we go.
Hey, so a bunch of players, including two of your teammates that we know of so far, have opted out of the season. Why are you choosing to opt in, and what also are your thoughts on those who have chosen not to play this year?
I mean, my thoughts on them are, Star, and I think EJ was the other one to opt out. There's no hard feelings on our part, and as a team, we'll continue to say that we're going to support those guys no matter what. We understand that this isn't anything to mess around with, and it's a time like nobody's ever seen before. So, that's their decision. We still love them, we still support them, and they're going to give us that support back too. So it's not like they're just axed off the list, and we're going to continue to, like I said, support and love those guys. My reason I'm opting in to play is, one, I love this game. Two, I think it's a great opportunity to give this nation hope and allow them to see us go out there and do what we do, because we know that Sunday is a very special day in the lives of a lot of people around the world, a lot of fans around the world. So, one, it's our jobs. Two, it's my passion to play this game. And there is obviously some things that we're sacrificing and risking our health and whatnot to do this. But at the same time, we want to play football. We're built and wired as football players, and we want to play. So we're going to do everything necessary that we can off the field to ensure that we do have a season. And, we're going to continue to find ways to adjust. And we know that the season's not going to be perfect by any means. And I think all 32 teams are thinking the same thing, that in an instance it could change. But, we got to have that mentality of next guy up and control what you can control, and, put the team first. And it's really the embodiment of putting the team first this season.
And a quick follow to that is, in light of the complexity of playing your position, so much that you have to know and learn and develop, given all the other elements that you have to deal with in that facility, like you said, distancing and all those other concerns that have been piled on, are you able, do you feel you're able to sufficiently go through the complex preparation of a quarterback for a season under these circumstances?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think the only thing that really hurts is you're going to get a limited amount of reps, live reps that you would typically get in a preseason and a full training camp, the OTAs and all that stuff. So, but I've set up something in my house, and I've got my complete film room there, and I got everything I need to watch as much film as I can. So I'm going to spend a lot of time in that room, be able to make sure that I'm getting, all the mental reps that I can.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vic.
Hey, Josh, Sal Capaccio here, WGR. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Sal.
Brandon and Sean both spoke with us over the weekend, and they talked about peer leadership, making sure everybody else is doing the right thing at all times off the field. You just spoke about making sure you're doing things right off the field so, that you can make sure you practice every day. Can you kind of give us that messaging, though? What's it like to kind of hold each other accountable, especially considering you got guys they're all different ages, different family situations, some with kids, some with older, it's all different backgrounds and things like that. There's one thing to be a leader on the field in a locker room, but how about that peer leadership about doing the things right off the field and how that sounds when you talk about it?
Yeah, well, luckily, Brandon and Coach McDermott have brought in the right guys and the guys that have the right mindset. Like I said, that embodies the team first mentality. So we know our guys are going to do the right things off the field. And, if I can count on a bunch of dudes in this locker room to make sure that they're holding each other accountable. So that's not really the issue with us. And, like I said, from ownership down, they've done a great job in this facility. The people that are setting up, our tables and making sure that they're all distanced correctly, and we have sanitization stations around, the facilities. And every time we work out, as soon as we're done using that equipment, it's getting wiped down and cleaned off. So it's been thoroughly thought out, throughout everybody in the building, and they've set up a nice lounge for us where we can, again, social distance and still be around each other and be able to talk and build that camaraderie that we might have missed out on in training camp. So again, we're just going to continue to adjust and find ways that we can get better and try to do things the right way.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, Matt Perino, Syracuse.com. Thanks for taking some time today. You obviously, in most seasons, would have had a ton of reps already with your offense, your new look offense, Stefon Diggs, who's been brought in. But, today, really, the last couple of days, the first time you're really able to be around each other for the first time. What's that process been like now, finally getting in the same building? I know you guys were together in Florida, but with your coaches, all the new players, all the new additions, what's the last few days been like?
I mean, it's been really good. It's been super productive. Our guys did a great job in the offseason. One, making sure that their bodies are right. Two, mentally engaging in the playbook and understanding everything that's going on there. So when they've stepped into our room, into our meetings, and especially on the field today, they knew what they were doing. There wasn't any time where we were wasting trying to figure out what went wrong during a play. We just kind of went out there and played. And like you said, throwing with Steph and having that off season where we really didn't see each other that much, but still got in some good reps in Florida. And we talked to each other, over the phone. We played video games with each other. So I feel like I've known him for an extremely long time now. So that's a plus. And he's a guy that's going to step in and be a huge addition to our offense. But again, we've got our guys that are going to be able to make some plays this year with John and Smoke, or John and Cole, and then you got Dawson and Motor, and then you throw in a guy like Zach Moss and TJ that can do some stuff. And again, there's still some other guys that are, finding their way into this offense and going to be able to make some plays for us.
Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Matt Bove here. Hope you're doing well. We saw you take the step from year 1 to year 2. Obviously, this year is very different. But in year 3, what does Josh Allen need to be better at than he was in year 2 that would ultimately lead to, more wins and also better individual numbers?
Yeah, as far as the numbers, I don't really like getting into that. Personally, I want to be better at taking care of the football, making better decisions, especially on the early downs, and not putting ourselves in situations where it's 3rd and long. And I know that we had a lot of success in 3rd and long last year, but it's not a great way to make a living. So early down success, finding the open receiver down low, finding my back more when I need it, and stop trying to force some balls downfield. So, I've been trying to improve this offseason. I've been working hard and had a good group down in Southern California that I was working with. So to get here and to go through our plays and even go back and look some of the film last year. And I said this probably at this time last year, but the previous season, like you just always have those little mistakes. You're like, why were my eyes in this spot? Why didn't I knew it was cover two. Why didn't I work the cover two side? So there's a lot of things that obviously I want to clean up and I need to clean up. And with the help of the coaching staff here that we are going to clean up. And, I'm excited to get back on the field and, start getting hit again and feeling like, football's back.
Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, Josh, John Scott, thanks for doing this. Good to see you. The NFLPA and some of these guidelines are meant to slowly rev you guys up to prevent injuries and things like that. But where is the challenge of knowing this is the first time you guys have been together as a group this entire time and wanting to dive right into really getting acclimated and involved while also adhering to what is being mandated right now?
Yeah, I mean, well, when we're on the field, it's all walk through tempo, but you get out there, you see a man across from you, you get those competitive juices flowing, and coach is constantly telling players to slow down. But I will say I'd rather have him telling us to slow down than to speed up. So, our guys are hungry to start playing football again. It was a great thing to see all the familiar faces and all my buddies that I've been missing, and it's just great to be back in that atmosphere where you got just a bunch of dudes who love football in the same spot again, and be able to go out there and talk some friendly trash but at the same time get some valuable reps and learn some more. And when you bring guys in like a Josh Shortman who's been around the league for a while and he's been playing high level for a long time, you get to start asking him questions and understand what makes him tick. And when you get to go against a defense like ours every day, that's only going to make us better. So that's what I'm super excited and looking forward to.
Thanks.
Hey, Josh, it's Marcel. Can you hear me?
Yep, I got you.
Hey, man, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Yep, thank you.
We heard a little bit from Brandon and maybe Sean yesterday about how you can kind of simulate competition during these practices. But what ways have you noticed? What ways are you going to try to, I guess, add some pressure and add some stakes to the reps that you're taking in training camp?
Well, every rep you have to think of it as a game rep that you're in, and it's extremely frustrating when we're going walk through, and I want our guys to go full speed and get that timing down. I understand why we're doing it, but it's hard to tell our guys to slow down because they want to go out there, they want to run, and I want to throw. So, but at the same time, we're doing it for safety precautions, and we know that. But we're like I said, I'm taking every rep as game-like as possible, making sure that I'm going through my reads correctly. In the OTAs, if I make a mistake and I throw something here or there, and it's not that big of a deal, but here, like I'm treating it like it means a lot to me, because it does. And I got to continue to keep doing that. And I'm very hard on myself. I'm a very harsh critic on myself, and I think that's going to help me during this time span where I'm going to feel like I'm getting better because I'm doing things the right way, making the right decisions, trusting my guys to make some plays. But again, we won't know until we start actually playing other teams and start hitting each other. So I'm excited.
And then just a quick follow-up to that, because there are so many of those reps that were missed in OTAs and minicamp, is there any added pressure? Is there any added importance to getting it right as quickly as possible now than there is maybe in other training camps?
I mean, I wouldn't say more. It's I guess it'd be emphasized more maybe. But again, our guys did a great job in the off season, learning our playbook, understanding what's going on, why Coach Dable's calling this play. Our depths are right, and so kudos off to our guys. Our line came back in great shape, and went out there and we mentally were flying around today. So it was good to see and good to get out there. And again, we got some more time before our first game here, and a lot to grow, a lot to learn. But this is a group that's looking forward to it.
Awesome. I appreciate it once again.
Yep, thank you.
Hey Josh, Heather Prusak here. Thanks for doing this. Really good to see you. It could be easy for if something goes wrong in the season for teams to say, oh, we had a lot to deal with. It was the COVID year, things like that. But talking to Brandon and Sean, and even Jordan Poyer earlier, he said that, you know, this is such an important year for you guys and you guys aren't lowering expectations. You know, how do you, I guess, kind of keep that from creeping in your mind of like, oh, you know, we could easily make excuses, like it is the COVID year and we're dealing with so many things. How do you still keep that high standards with everything you're dealing with?
Well, I think that comes from our ownership and our leadership in our front office and our head coach, you know, making sure that, you know, Coach McDermott, he's always talking about the right things in our team meetings and trying to set the path for this team. And, you know, he's always talking about playoff caliber. And when we get to the playoffs, it's championship caliber. So nothing's changed there. You know, we got guys coming in ready to work. We understand that there's going to be a lot of different obstacles this year that teams have likely never faced. But, you know, I feel confident with the guys that we got in the locker room and our coaching staff that we're going to be led in the right direction. We're going to do things the right way on and off the field. And we're going to be able to adapt and overcome to anything that's going to put in our way. So it's taking it one day at a time and relying on each other. And again, having that next man up attitude where I think that's going to be the most important thing this season.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you guys.